Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, iRacing fans from around the world, welcome to Tuesday Night Trucks. We are back here at New Hampshire on this very comfortable 65-degree evening. Big shout out right off the bat to our sponsor for Tuesday Night Trucks, Pro Automotive, ASE Certified Mechanics out of Dudley, Massachusetts, and Jason Russo is out here tonight representing us in the number 14 Pro Automotive. All right, folks, a little bit about New Hampshire here. First off, as we do know from last night, it is a 1.25 mile track. Track temp sits at 75 degrees. Good temp out here tonight, mostly cloudy. We also learned from last night, New Hampshire's a bear. Simple as that. A complete bear. Gave the drivers quite the time last night, spilling out over 11 cautions. But I tell you, I got a little bit of a smaller field out here tonight. A couple of drivers may be thinking twice before coming back to tackle New Hampshire. Drivers are qualifying up as we speak. And also, we did some facts last night. A lot of facts about NASCAR. Had a little bit of trivia, had a little bit of fun with the ladies out here. So we're going to do it again tonight. Qualifying times are beginning to come in, folks, on this Tuesday night truck race here at New Hampshire. Taking a look at that qualifying order out there in front, we do have Blake Heather with the 28.857 side by side with Nathan Sylvia with the 28.858. Travis Browder in third, 28.945. Scott Sanderson fourth, 29.001, and Mark Jackson rounding out our top five with a 29.228. Jack Watts position sixth. Brad Ream, Ronald Klein 7th and 8th, RTK drivers. David Buttersworth sitting back in ninth with Ronald Hartfeld by his side in position 10. Position 11, Donald Stewart. Rusty Farrell in 12th. Good to see Greg McClendon out there in lucky number 14, side by side with Abe Bowden, position 14. 15 and 15th is kind of weird with Australia being placed twice. All right, moving on. Gary Whitmer sitting back, position 16, our sponsor for the night, and the number 14 back in 17th. Wesley Whitfield representing Southeast back in 19th. Chuck Dix in position 20th. Joel Guy 21st. Lee Ryerson position 22. All right, so we've got 20. See, I'm not racing, so 21 drivers out here tonight. Going to be taking the 100 laps on here at New Hampshire in Tuesday Night Trucks. Drivers are going to have to focus. Last night we had quite the run out here, to say the least. Blake Heather putting on a pretty good show. Travis Browder having a very good finish last night. Nathan Sylvia did a pretty decent job. Gary Whitmer Jr. with GW Graphics joining us tonight. Big shout out there to Mom and Dad Whitmer. Blake Heather side by side with Nathan Sylvia getting ready to kick off 100 laps here at New Hampshire. All starts and restarts done. Second gear on leader's discretion. Drivers are ruled to stay in formation until trucks are up to speed and around the first turn. Try to do everything we can to ensure a green flag start. Green flag pit stops would be nice. Last night, 11 cautions in the Xfinity class. We'll see if they do any better tonight, folks, and away we go. Blake Heather in that number 13. Going, trying to be gone. Here comes Travis Browder and Nathan Sylvia, hot on his tail. Scott Sanderson in position 4. Big racing up here with our top three, Blake, Nathan, and Travis. Drivers have appeared to get off to a very good start here, off to 100 laps. Blake, Nathan, Travis, positions 1, 2, 3. Travis underneath, Nathan, Sylvia. Nathan Sylvia fighting back onto that outside lane. Not able to get her done.
Big crash.
Caution is out. Take a look at that on our replay. Showing the number 76 of Ronald Klein cutting loose. We're going to back it up just a hair and a smidgen right there. Find out exactly what did go wrong. Watching the number 76 coming around into the corner, and the truck breaks loose to the left. Ronald counter steering to the right, spinning it into the path of the number 5 of Gary Whitmer and the number 78 of Donald Stewart and the number 15. All right, ladies and gentlemen, self-spin by the number 76 of Ronald Klein, bringing out our first caution of the night. Ooh, unfortunate break there for Ronald Klein. Going to send Ronald smoking into pit row. Blake Heather out there on front line with Travis Browder, Nathan Sylvia, Scott Sanderson, and Mark Jackson. Underneath our first caution. Hope that is not a prelude to what is to come, ladies and gentlemen. Drivers opting to stay out. Alrighty, let's see what I can come up with here on our facts. Alrighty. These are 10 facts you may not know about New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Alright. One of NASCAR's newer tracks, New Hampshire, opened when an existing road course was redeveloped into the oval. All right, so we're looking for New Hampshire's opening. Now, I'm only looking for a year. I'm not looking for, January, February, March, April. One of NASCAR's newer tracks, New Hampshire, opened in what year? We're going to give you a few minutes there to think about it. Yeah, Becky out there watching GW, and yes, ma'am, already Gary Whitmer caught up into the first one, caused by a self-spin. A little unusual right there for Ronald Klein RTK, one of our veteran drivers, actually with some real-life experience out there in the dirt. And New Hampshire, you almost got to pretty much think it's dirt. Maybe if they go into dirt attitude, that might help these drivers around this 1 mile track. Early caution, but I tell you what, I'm not going to get disappointed or down in the dumps. I know these drivers can do it. I was down there today. We had a long talk, drivers meeting. So I do think that they're going to get it together. Hey, big shout out there to Chris Hogue out there on the KM8 TV chat. Chris Hogue hoping for the best of these drivers. He's got his teammates out here with RTK, Ronald Klein, Gary Whitmer. Everybody's still on that lead lap as far as I can tell. Lights are off. The pace car will be going green this time by. And we've got some dates out there coming in for us for our trivia question. And to tell you what, there is no fooling the ladies and gentlemen tonight. They are absolutely correct. New Hampshire did open up in 1990. Becky Whitmer, even with a June of 1990. Big shout out there to Becky Whitmer, Chris Hogue, and Kelly Ryerson, knowing their New Hampshire trivia. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out there to our race fans. All right, heading back to some green flag racing, or so we hope. Blake Heather obviously leading every lap out here as we take that green. Blake Heather early up into that corner, back down. Blake Heather with a fast lap of a 30.905. Looking like we've got some flashing going on behind. I think that might have been Travis Browder. He seems to be solid right now. Scott Sanderson going for a ride. Scott Sanderson going for a ride in the rearview mirror. Hang on to her, Scotty. Contact again, turning the... Ooh, that's ugly. All right, we're going to get back, take a look at that. I'm going to back that up a little bit, see exactly what happened. All right, here we go. The number 93, Scott Sanderson, pushing it a little bit too hard. Coming down in front of the 17. 17 avoiding it. 93 recovering it. Okay, and then a little bit of contact right there between... I'm thinking, no, I don't know. We're going to go up to a rear front on that one there. And it almost looks like Brad Ream possibly drifting up track into the number 3. Taking a look at that on yeah, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so it looks like we would have had 2 incidences there. Brad Ream up into Mark Jackson into the tail end of the 93. But initially, the 93 was the one that set it all into motion. Pretty sure that Brad Ream, seeing all that activity, that affected his line. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, that will be our second caution of the night. As we look at it one more time from blimp view. Number 93 of Scott Sanderson getting into a little bit of trouble here. Bringing out our second caution on lap 9 of 100. Drivers passing. Pit row. Going to give us a chance to get a chat in with one of our younger drivers. How about it, Nathan Sylvia? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, I tell you what, you narrowly missed that one there. Talk to us about that.
Well, me and Scott was racing really close, and going down to turn 1, I mean, I thought I came up. I thought I gave him a little nudge. I think that he got a little bit too hard on the brakes, and he just spun it around. I hope that he didn't burn up a reset. Nothing happened, but we were just really hard racing.
Alrighty, I did not see any contact on your part whatsoever. Looked like maybe a little bit of draft, but nonetheless a self-spin. You sir were not involved. Talk to us a little bit about the I want to go fast truck.
Well, it's just from Talladega Nights, and I mean, it just stuck with me after we watched Talladega Nights. I don't know how many times I can't even count how many times I watched it. So I mean, it's stuck with me, and I just want to go fast.
Alrighty, and are you fast out here at New Hampshire?
I mean, I'm not the best, but we'll just see what we can do.
Alrighty, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Nathan Sylvia running with Blake Heather and Travis Browder tonight for Maximum Velocity. Travis Browder sitting in second. Blake Heather sitting up there in that number 1 first place position, square D. Second caution of the night. Coming out by a self-spin. It happens. Drivers getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Jack Watts, Brad Ream sitting back in 4th and 5th position. Jack Watts running for Southeast in the number 77. Brad Ream running for RTK in the number 61 with the pink shiny rims. Looking sharp out there. Kind of more purple pink. Showing support for PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Good to see Greg McClendon out there in the number 16 in 6th position. Big shout out there to our Friday night sponsor, Scott Sanderson, in the number 93. showing a little bit of damage in the rear end as well as the number 78 as we are back to green flag racing here at New Hampshire. Side by side with 78 and the number 14, Jason Russo. Coming up on the number 76. Front line seeming to go single file. Double foul action there with Donald Stewart. Gary Whitmer on his second vehicle. Alive and in good shape in position 13. Caution is out. Alrighty, that one there, pretty simple. Pretty plain and simple right there on the number 17 of Nathan Sylvia. Nathan Sylvia bringing out that third caution of the night on a self-spin. Fortunately, no other drivers involved. Going to back that up one more time. Going to put you in-car camera with the number 17 of Nathan Sylvia. Nary a touch in sight. Trying to correct it, overcorrecting it, nose end. Actually not coming into contact with that wall. Good job by Nathan Sylvia. But nonetheless, third caution of the night, ladies and gentlemen, brought out to you by Nathan Sylvia. Drivers underneath caution for the third time of the night. 9 laps of caution so far. Lap 15 of 100. Alrighty, let's get back to some fun facts here about New Hampshire. Alrighty, here's a fun fact. Apparently the course was designed without any consulting engineers, using just one surveyor to plant stakes around the course area. It's a miracle, they say, that the thing is not a pretzel. One engineer, one consulting engineer in 1990. I think we'd have a bit more technology going on. Interesting stuff right there, but here you go. Who won the inaugural Slick 50 .300 in 1993? Slick 50. I do believe that was an Xfinity race, if I'm correct. He's a big name today, but who won the inaugural Slick 50 in 1993 at New Hampshire? Give you a few minutes to think about that, fans. Blake Heather, Travis Browder out there on that front line. Jack Watts, Greg McClendon up to position 4. Brad Reams sitting in 5th. Scott Sanderson, Ronald Hartfield, Donald Stewart, Ronald Klein. Jason Russo making up our top 10. Gary Whitmer sitting back in 17th, still alive. Gary Whitmer, a very smart driver. Travis Browder, Blake Heather just trying to stay up and out of trouble. Jack Watts making his way up to position 3. Jack Watts started in 6th, showing Jack Watts in 4th position. And we have winners out there on the KMA TV chat. Rusty Wallace. I tell you what, ladies, I'm going to have to get some harder questions or something. I don't know. Take you guys on to Jeopardy. All right, I'm going to have to toughen up for Friday. Got a few more questions, but you're absolutely right on the Rusty Wallace. Rusty Wallace winning the inaugural race here at New Hampshire. The Slick 50, 1993. And away we go, ladies and gentlemen. Big damage on the number 93 of Scott Sanderson. Looks like that Silverado's been to hell and back. But a big shout out there to the paint scheme, showing his support for the POWMIA. Some gave all. Right now, Scott Sanderson giving his all. Donald Stewart up onto his rear end, coming around RTK, coming around the 22. Like somebody might have been in trouble right there. Bit of three-wide action going on back here. Number 3 of Mark Jackson deep in that hornet's nest. Jason Russo driving the new Pro Automotive Chevy Silverado, brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs. Big shout out there to John Hedrick, making Jason Russo looking pretty sharp out there. Showed his support for a KMA TV pad, Over the Top Paints and Designs. Brand new paint. Jason Russo doing a good job taking care of it here on lap 21. Number 3 of Mark Jackson driving the Over the Top Paints and Designs, Stars and Stripes Chevy Silverado. Nathan Sylvia hot on his heels. A lot more Silverados out here than Toyota Tundras. Ooh, a little bit of banging on the rear end of Mark Jackson there being done by Nathan Sylvia. Greg McClendon in the Valvoline. Davis Buttersworth in the number 81, side by side with Gary Whitmer. 17 spinning out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the number 17 again. That is 2 self-spins on the number 17. Going to back it up, take a look at it one more time up there from the chopper. All righty, here it is, folks, 17. Secondary self-spin. The 17 has brought out 2 cautions. I'm thinking that the 17 might need to take her into pit road. Not doing a real solid, not having a solid night out here on this track tonight. Number 17 bringing out the second caution. Blake Heather out there in that number 1 position. Travis Browder, Jack Watts, Brad Ream. Jason Russo. Going to get a word in with Jason Russo very quickly. How about it, Jason Russo? You got a quick copy?
I got a quick copy.
All righty, big shout out there to you, sir. Unfortunately, we've had a driver right there might have to get parked for causing 2 cautions, but how was Jason Russo doing?
I'm doing okay. A little incident there earlier. Got caught up in something, but we got a pretty stable setup tonight. We're just going to keep it clean and get a top 5 out of it.
All right, copy that. See you passing by pit road, so I'm not going to keep you long. These are some incredibly short laps. Tell us real quick about Pro Automotive.
Pro Automotive, we're here for all your professional automotive needs. Check us out online at www.proautomotivema.com.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, underneath our fourth caution of the night. Unfortunately, the track providing a little intense for some. Nathan Sylvia spinning twice. Taking a quick look at our running order. Blake Heather, Travis Browder, Brad Ream, Jason Russo, Jack Watts, Donald Stewart, Mark Jackson, Greg McClendon, Ronald Hartfield, Wesley Whitfield. Gary Whitmer up to 14th position. Drivers ought to be getting pretty good at these starts and restarts. Big shout out there to the KMA fans on the TV chat, doing a good job on the questions. All right, now follow-up question to the inaugural Slick 50 race won by Rusty Wallace. Of that race, that particular race was a driver's final race because the next day he was involved in a helicopter crash that would eventually cost him his life. So which driver competed in the Slick 50 and the next day was involved in a helicopter crash that eventually would cost him his life? Now, I've actually never heard of this driver. So we're looking for the driver that competed in the Slick 50 inaugural race in 1993 that lost his life the next day. I'll give you a few laps to think about that one there. Blake Heather, Travis Browder, Jack Watts, Brad Ream, Jason Russo getting ready to take our next restart. Pace car is in and away goes Blake Heather. Blake Heather leading 28 laps tonight. No lead changes. Side by side, 77 and the number 14. 14 up on that wall. Side by side with 77 of Jack Watts. Jack Watts in third position. Brad Ream on that outside lane. Jason Russo on the inside. Donald Stewart in the red and white Boston Red Sox up on the outside. Mark Jackson drifting back in the number 3 just a little bit. Jason Russo in that third pack on that inside lane. Green numbers there on the side of the Pro Automotive number 14 coming around. Mark Jackson getting caught back up to this 4-pack. Jack Watts running in third position, showing his support for pad. Mark Jackson running the over-the-top Chevy Silverado, taking his time here on lap 31. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back to our trivia question. We're looking for the driver that lost his life the day after the inaugural Slick 50 in 1993, won by Rusty Wallace. All right. Wow, I'm going to seriously need to upgrade my information, but all 3 fans out there are absolutely correct. Davey Allison involved in a helicopter crash the day after the Slick 50 inaugural, and it did indeed cost him his life eventually. I'd never heard of Davey, but a big shout out there to Becky, Chris, and Kelly ganging up on me even. My goodness. All right, I'm going to have to like make some facts up or something. I'm going to have to take these guys with me to Jeopardy and The Price is Right. I'll tell you what. Lap 33 of 100. Blake still up there in front. Gary Whitmer in the showing the number 5. Pad Pride right there. Big shout out there to RTK Motorsports. Gary showing the Pride for Pad with the purple. Big shout out there to RK Paints and Designs. David Buttersworth showing some damage on the rear end. The Voodoo Ride, the number 81, up onto the rear end of the 22. .22 of Rusty Farrell, couple laps down. 125 of Lee Ryerson. Anti-bullying awareness. We just recently had that race. Ronald Hartfeld, position 12. Jason Russo, our sponsor for the night. Big shout out there to Pro Automotive, sitting in 4th position. Looking like we might get a few laps of green flag racing here, folks. That'd be pretty cool. Jason Russo with a fast lap of a 29.675. Still keeping a very close eye on Donald Stewart. 2.4 seconds out of the rear end of Blake Heather, our race leader. Travis Browder, a little bit closer up there with a half a second gap. Travis Browder doing a good job keeping up with Blake Heather here on lap 38 of 100. Drivers seemingly settling down. Donald Stewart showing his support for his father, big Red Sox fan. Everett Stewart also showing his support for Pride with the number, with Pad Pride, with the number 78 and the purple rims. Brad Weedream with RTK Motorsports. Behind our race leader by 4.7, Mark Jackson, 5.5, hot on the heels of the number 61. Greg McClendon sitting at 8.2 back, 7.7, 7.6. Caution is out. Taking a look at the number 75 of Wesley Whitfield. Do believe that'll be the first one on Wesley. Going for a self-spin. No other vehicles are involved. Good job there by Wesley Whitfield. Keeping her down. Going to jump back, take a look at that from our aerial cameras. Don't believe there was anything there to get into his way. Just a self-spin. Drove it in a little bit too much. That'll bring out our 5th caution of the night. But we actually had a little bit of a nice run right there. A little bit of a green flag run. So that was kind of nice to see, folks. That'll put Ronald Klein out there in front. Blake and Travis in and out of pit row. How about it, Travis Browder? Have you got a copy?
Hey, Scott, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, sir. So we're still running a little heavy on the cautions out here tonight. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think so. Some drivers are getting loose. Some people are getting tight on exit. It's just like my setup's a little bit loose on exit as well. So I'm just trying to. You just got to throttle control it on the throttle on exit so you can hold the truck off the corners.
Alrighty, and what's the atmosphere down there? Because last night it was a little rough. It was a little bit intense. Is it a good attitude down there? Are the guys having any sort of fun?
I mean, I hope we get a long green flag run. So the longer runs we go, the more funner it's going to get. So I hope we can get at least a green flag pit stop.
Alrighty, and what are going to be the key factors of those long flag, green flag runs?
Fuel mileage, saving tires. Tires is everything here. I mean, because them fresh tires pays off than older tires. So we'll see what happens as this race goes on.
All right, good luck to you, Travis.
Thank you, Scott.
Travis Browder did a pretty good job last night in the Xfinity. Friday night, we're going to be back here with the Gins. Wednesday night, my good friend Ronald Klein's going to be doing some broadcasting. I forget offhand what he's going to be running, but it's going to be something completely different and out of the ordinary. So that'll be pretty cool for tomorrow night. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if I can stump you on this one here. In 2003, an incident involving whom led to the creation of the lucky dog rule, where the first car behind the lead lap would get their lap back during the cautionary period. So the lucky dog was started in 2003, and there was a specific driver that led to the creation of the lucky dog rule. Well, I did not know that. Interesting. 2003 incident involving whom led to the creation of the lucky dog rule. Some good information out there by Chris Hogue. The track was on the original site of Breyer Motor Speedway Motorsports Park. It was purchased and redeveloped by Bob Bauer. That's true. Good information right there by Chris Hogue. Who led to the creation of the lucky dog rule? And I tell you what, a lot of drivers sure are glad we have that lucky dog rule into effect, as we are 5 laps away from our halfway point underneath our next caution of the night. Taking a look at Ronald Klein. Nope. That contact was up in front. Okay, looking at some contact there with the number 22 lap traffic. Could that be the lap traffic? Ooh. I do not know, ladies and gentlemen, but we are looking at the number 22 and the number 93. 22 and 93, but folks, we're going to change a camera angle here and see what I can see. Going to get up there on the number 93, and you know what, folks? I cannot tell. That is a hard one to call right there, folks. We're going to change it one more time. Backing it up. Know that the number 93 got a little wiggly. Oh, the number 22. Now, looking at it right there, folks. If we look at the projection of the number 22, I am thinking the number 22 lap traffic coming up. Alrighty, that's my call. The number 22 of Rusty Farrell, in my humble opinion, bringing out our sixth caution of the night. Unfortunate break for the number 93, though. That's going to probably send him off into pit row. All right, I tell you what, folks, what a time for us to take a couple of commercials and pay our bills by checking in with our sponsors. We'll be right back with you. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, underneath our sixth caution of the night. All right, a big shout out there to Chris Hogue. Chris Hogue giving us some trivia facts out there. And I tell you what, Chris, feel free to help me out on this because I can't stump them. Becky and Kelly they're embarrassing me. Well, you did too. You had some trivia stuff right there. But again, y'all are correct. And it is Dale Jarrett, the Lucky Dog Rule was named after Dale Jarrett. Jarrett's car was stopped in the middle of the track, and NASCAR officials realized there could have been problems as everyone raced back to the starting line before the caution, a practice that has since been banned. Well, thank you, Dale Jarrett, for helping us out with that Lucky Dog Rule. And we're back to Green Flag Racing. Lap 49 of 100, lap 50 of 100. And joining us up in the booth is my good friend Ronald Klein. How are we doing, Ronald?
Oh, you know, Scott, I've been better.
Tough night out here. We're possibly heading for one more caution than what we had out here on Monday. But more importantly to me, what's the atmosphere of the drivers?
For the most part, you know, everybody's trying to do what we're talking, you know, we're implementing new rules, so to speak, and everybody's trying to abide by that, I think, for the most part. But there's a couple of guys, including myself. I overdrove the truck early. I got myself into a little bit of trouble. Got into the corner a little bit hot, and this track's just a bear. I mean, it's tough.
Caution is out, and we are looking at the number 81. I do believe the number 81 onto a self-spin, but we're going to back it up out of that chopper mode. You know, and that's the biggest thing I'm seeing out here, Ronald, as we do look at the number 81 of David Buttersworth. No contact in front of Scott Sanderson, and Sanderson's had a rough night. 81, self-spin. Now that is the first one on the number 81 of David Buttersworth. Now we've already pulled over one driver, I do know for a fact, as per my request, for 2 self-spins. You know, you can't be spinning out like this on a small track like this, but you're pretty sure it's the track, not the driver, not the set, not the vehicle?
No, I'm pretty sure for the most part it's just the driver, Scott. I mean, like I said early on, I just overdrove it into the corner. I haven't watched the replay, but that's the only thing that it could be is I overdrove it into the corner, and I'm not sure if I got loose under braking or if I got back to the throttle too hard. But it was just over aggressiveness on my part. That's why you saw me fall to the back, and I was just trying to be patient. All those guys, if you need to get past me, let me know. It's no big deal. I'm just lollygagging in the back here because this is the one series that I really truly do care about because I was second in points before tonight. So they're going to take a big hit in the points tonight. But I think it all comes down to driver responsibility. And I think the rules that we have implemented, even though you're not seeing the effect, so to speak, in terms of how the cautions are coming out, it's definitely affecting how most of the guys are driving. I say most because there are a couple guys that are still over driving.
All right, well, we are underneath our 7th caution of the night with 46 to go. J.R. Johnson out there on that KM8 TV chat, going to give him a status update. Now, while we are getting that information, I got to tell you, the girls and Chris Hogue out here on the KM8 TV chat, I've been tossing some questions around to them, and they're catching, I'm tossing, they're catching them. I cannot strike them out. All right, but race fans, I've got one for you. Now, I think Becky might be onto my information pad, but we're going to take a quick gander and see if I can get her onto a question. Now, we established earlier, Ron, that June 5th, 1990 is when New Hampshire was built. We've established that the first NASCAR race was in 1990, the Budweiser. Actually, I may have gave that one away because the first NASCAR Sprint Cup race was a Slick 50 in 1993. So the first NASCAR race, well, I hope she didn't hear me, but it was the Budweiser 300. And can you tell me when the first NASCAR race? They had a lot of races right there in 1990, didn't they?
They sure did. Kind of. Even now they do, right?
Now, we also found out what opened up with the Lucky Dog rule. So we're getting a lot of information out there. But as I mentioned, I do think Becky is onto my cheat sheet out there, as she was the other night. Kristen Phillips coming in to check in on Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson sitting back in position 10. So what are your predictions for Friday? We're going to be driving the Big Boy Gins out there on Friday here at this itty-bitty track, Ron.
I'm afraid you're going to see a lot of the same, Scott. I know nobody wants to hear that. And I know, I wish that there was something that we could do about it, but the reality of it is that we're probably going to see more.
I'd have to check.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, that's all you can do is keep your finger crossed and your shoes tied.
As a matter of fact, I was thinking maybe I'll just broadcast with you on Friday instead of being down there because of how rough the track is and how difficult it is.
All right, well, pace car is out. Take us through this next restart there, Ron.
All right, you got Mr. Blake on the inside, Mr. Travis on the outside, Brad Ream making a move to the outside right there at that rule line where that could have been questionable there on the number 61. Might have to go back and take a look at that. Starting a single file out. Jack Watts is fifth, moving to fourth. On the outside, Scott Sanderson, he's got a nice line going into turn three, excuse me. Looks like Scott Sanderson's kind of fallen back a little bit. I'm not sure. He may have stayed out on tires. Not positive. Kind of with the whole jumble of me getting out of the car and coming up here. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. So Blake looks like he's out pretty comfortably.
Blake's been owning every lap out here tonight. He's led 58 laps to go. Now, just under half of those have been under caution. But good racing here between Jack Watts and Scott Sanderson. Almost as if Scott Sanderson driving the number 77 up to that wall. He wasn't driving him, but from that angle, it looked like he was. So two very distinct lanes that these drivers are running out here tonight. Appears they've got a thing going into out.
Yeah, it's you're definitely right. There's definitely two distinct lines around the track. That inside lane, Scott Sanderson's running right now. It's a little bit dangerous because there's a little bit of opposite banking as you get down to that yellow line, and you can really get loose. So kind of surprised to see him down that far. There again, he's apexing the corner, so maybe that's why he's not getting loose because of his entry into the corner. Kind of diamond, he's kind of almost like diamond shaping the corners. Oh, and there he gets loose. Saved it though. Good job saving it. These trucks are hard to save.
Yes, sir, they are. Now, Blake Heather is a newcomer here to KMA Racing. Travis Browder, a veteran. Brad Ream. You got to be pretty proud of Brad Ream right now, up there in the 61. Now, since you're up here, I do got to ask you about the rims. Are those pad designated rims?
I believe partially yes, and partially his daughter is a big fan of that color, so he runs the rims specifically for his daughter as well. But yes, it's kind of a two-part thing.
All right, very good deal. Very good deal indeed. Running through our list, working our way towards the back, Scott Sanderson. We talked about Scott Sanderson's paint job an awful lot, POW MIA. Now, that's got to be something very special to you, Ronald.
Yes.
As military yourself.
I'll just give a big shout out to all the armed forces members, current and past. Thank you for your service, no matter if you're retired or just did a couple years, few years, whatever. Thank you for your service. I love honoring veterans. I am one myself, so thank you for that, Scott. And I love paint jobs that pay tribute to the military.
In his rearview mirror, we have Mark Jackson running the over-the-top red, white, and blue stars and stripes. Big shout out there to over-the-top paints and designs. On his rear end, Boston Red Sox, number 78 of Donald Stewart. Donald Stewart sitting at 6.5 back, showing his support for Purple Pride as well as his father. And a little bit tighter racing back here between Ronald Hartfield in the number 15 and Lee Ryerson in the number 125.
Yeah, Ronald Hartfield's been really strong this year. I believe he is third in points in the series, so kind of surprised to see him running back as far as he is right now. It could be strategy, though, so I don't want to speak too soon, but I think he was struggling with his truck as much as I was with mine. This week is the first week I've actually raced this track. Might be the same story for him. Didn't get enough laps in with this setup. Kind of got thrown a curveball. When everybody's under fixed setups, you just drive it the way that it is, and usually it's tight. These trucks seem to be a little more loose.
Yeah, you gotta love iRacing, don't you know? I actually wasn't even aware of that update until about an hour before tonight's race, and I had baby crying and this going on, and tried to get out of here to get it all wrapped up. It did not work out. But no, you're absolutely right. The difference that the set can make. Ronald Hartfield wanting that upper line. Lee Ryerson doing a good job as Jason Russo trying to come around on his outside. Now, the distance here, Jason Russo sitting at 10.4 back with 32 to go. These drivers will not be able to make it without a green flag pit stop. Would you say Jason's in a good spot or a bad spot being 10 back?
I think it was going to be really close when I had pitted the lap the time before the caution came out.
You think they can make it?
There might be a chance that if these guys back off their lap times just enough, they might be able to make it because you know how the in-game fuel calculator is pretty incorrect. Well, the fuel tank, with a full tank, it was showing 66 laps. So I gotta estimate that it had to be around 40, 42, something like that. And I think when we went back green, we were around 50 or something, 50 something, weren't we, when we went back green?
I believe it was like 51.
So there's a possibility that some of these guys may stretch their fuel, you know, running because they're running slower lap times, not on the throttle as much as the leaders are. Somebody might pull off a fuel strategy win here. You just don't know. But to answer your question, if it comes down to you got to take fuel, those guys in the back are gonna have one of two choices. They can pit and take 2 tires, which will loosen the truck up. Some of these guys may be running tight, so that may help them taking 2 tires and just a splash of fuel to get to the end, or hope and pray for a caution, which of course you and I we're hoping and praying that we stay green because cautions are ready. So
Alrighty, hey, talking to Becky Whitmer. All right, Becky, I had closed down my window on that. You guys have wore me out on the track facts. You actually just beat me, but I'm looking for more, and I've got a fun fact right now, and I don't think even you're going to get this one here. Did you know, Ronald, there is a track mascot for New Hampshire? All right, fans, that is your question.
I did not know that. See, I love coming up here. I learned stuff.
In 2009, the track introduced its first mascot. He wears a fire suit with the Speedway logo and the track's name around it, often seen wearing an open-faced helmet, is seen on race weekends shaking hands with the drivers, hanging out with the fans. All right, what is the mascot? What is his name, and what is he? New Hampshire, we're looking for the mascot. Nice. I like this one. They're looking at the name. I'm not sure about the name, but okay.
Unfortunately, Scott, I got to break in here, and we do have a caution flag.
All righty.
I tell you what, I was watching the number 61 and the number 3 go at it for the last few laps. They were just not beating and banging, but they were racing.
And we are riding along right behind them. That's where the replay counter went to. Not seeing nothing more than beating and banging, so I'm not really quite sure what brought that caution out, because I'm still seeing Mark and Brad both running.
If you go back to the number 5, that should tell you the story, sir.
Alrighty, we are in car with the number 5 green flag, and we're going to speed it up to get back up there to the caution. Oh, there it is. All right, and I have indeed found it, and looks like the number 5, I don't think he could avoid that contact there with the number 15. I'm going to turn that camera angle around, because that's really... Oh, I'm watching the rear end of the number 5. His ass end started to slide out. Think he was up on that brake, Ronald?
Yeah, I think he probably came in a little too hot, or didn't expect the number 15 to check up when he did, and probably got on the binders, as we like to call them, a little too hard to stay off of him. So unfortunately, he yeah, I'm watching your replay right now, and it looks like Gary Whitmer Jr. definitely got on the brakes to stay off the 15 and self-spun, unfortunately.
I was seeing that rear end start to come out from under him before the actual contact. Well, that's lap 76 of 100, 8 cautions, 24 to go out here tonight. Blake Heather, Travis Browder, Scott Sanderson up there in that P1, 2, 3 positions. Very impressed with Scott Sanderson, I tell you what. He got involved in an early caution early on. We're going to get a quick word in with Mr. Scott. How about it, Scott? How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. I figured you'd be something like saying you're hanging on by a thread and a prayer.
I think that thread broke around lap 10.
All right. You think you got a chance with 23 to go?
Definitely got a long run car. I was catching Browder there until it took me 20 laps to get around the 77 there. But definitely got a long run car. I don't know if this is going to be a long enough run if we go caution free here to the end. But, we're going to give it a best shot here and try to get a couple positions on the start, especially starting inside here.
All right. Ronald, you got anything very quickly for the number 93?
No, sorry you got caught up in some of the earlier stuff. Glad to see you running up front there. You looked good. I've been watching for the last 20 or so laps, and looks like you've been having some good battles out there. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. Yeah, we turned this 100-lap race into a 50-lap race with all the incidents we got caught up in the first half. So we'll give it a good shot here.
Well, good luck to you, Scott.
Thanks, guys.
All righty, I tell you what, Ronald. Now we talked about a lot of rules out here with the drivers. We're going to have to enact a rule here on the KMA TV chat. No more Googling for the girls. They have figured out the answer.
Well, that's good though. That's
It is.
we're all learning, and we're keeping not only with the race itself, but with the questions and trivia, the fans out there getting involved. So I think it's a win-win for everybody.
It is. Well, I got to tell you what the mascot is. Milo the Moose.
Milo the Moose. Kelly Ryerson put that on there.
I'm not sure what a moose has to do with New Hampshire. Well, I know they got moose up there in New Hampshire, but... All right, here we go. Back to Green Flag Racing with number 13. Being a moose out here tonight, Travis Browder side by side with Scott Sanderson. Mark Jackson still making a good appearance back there in 4th and 5th with Jack Watts.
Yeah, it's about to get real interesting. Got
Number 3 going sideways.
Oh no!
Oh no! That'll be a caution. Had the cameras right on there, and all right, we're gonna pause that right there, and we're gonna get onto the rear end or into the cockpit of Mark Jackson. I do know the number 15 was involved, but it appeared to be up there with the number 3 of Mark Jackson. So we're backing it up as we speak. Okay, actually I'm going to take that up from chopper view. Mark Jackson coming around, and contact on the number 78. All right, I am seeing the number 78.
Hold on 1 second, Scott. I'll be right back, sir.
Copy that. All right, folks, we are seeing a little bit of contact there with the 78 and the number 3. As we do back it up one more time. Tough break there for Mark Jackson, but comes up across the track. He can't control where he's going as he comes into the 14, the 125, the 22. Rusty Farrell going for a spin as well. GW escaping. Joel Guy, not so much. Nonetheless, that'll bring out our 9th caution of the night. Gary Whitmer in pit row. That'll put Gary up into 8th place position. So that actually worked out to Gary Whitmer's advantage. Take a look at our current running order. Blake Heather out here absolutely dominating. 82
Sorry about
laps.
that, Scott. I'm back.
It's It's all good. Welcome back. Oh, we were just talking about Blake Heather absolutely dominating out here tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely the man to be reckoned with. It's kind of crazy that you thought for a while like, geez, is anybody going to be able to beat Travis Browder? And then along comes Blake and Dalton, and now it's a question of, well, can Travis get it back up front now? So
well, and don't forget, Brad Ream's giving him a run for their money, as well as Jack and Scott. Very impressed out here, actually, with Jack and Scott tonight. Now, do talk to me, Ronald, about what we just saw, though. When you're coming up on a driver, you know he's got to brake. You know, I'm following you around the track. I know you got to brake. I don't want to brake. You don't want to brake. We know you got to brake. In Illinois, where I live, there's an automatic law that if you're involved in a collision and you rear end somebody, no matter what the situation, you get the ticket, no matter what. Does that rule apply out here in racing?
Somewhat, yes.
So there's a greater responsibility on the follower than the followee?
Yes, because it's a mixed bag there, and it's kind of bad. As we go back to green flag racing here, Blake pulls away. Oh, Scott Sanderson.
Rear-ended.
Great jump, but then I just heard that Blake missed a shift, so that really slowed Scott Sanderson down, gave Travis Browder the opportunity to get back up to that second spot. What a shame for Scott. As Scott just said, he got the restart of his life, I'm hearing over the radio.
But I tell you what, I was very impressed with Brad Ream, because Brad Ream was in that 3 wide position. He knows that would be a violation. I would have flagged him if he had gone on and continued with it, because it was to avoid collision. But he did the right thing and he backed it right out of there. Good job, Brad Ream.
Yeah, and that's a tough rule to follow sometimes, because you're always afraid that you're going to get run into from the rear. But luckily enough, I am running dual radios tonight because I am still in the race room. I heard Blake announce that he missed the shift, so everybody behind him knew that he had missed the shift. So that's probably why we didn't see a wreck happen there.
Great communication.
Yes, great communication. So hopefully we'll get these last 13 or so laps in under the screen flag. I got my camera on the number 61. Just kind of watching to see what he's doing. He's not really going up or back. Oh, Scott Sanderson must have gotten loose. He is just fallen behind Jack Watts, and Brad Ream just got by him.
Still in it to win it, though.
Yep, he's gonna drive that truck for all she's worth, Scott.
Now, I do believe next week we're going to be heading off to Charlotte. I think the Charlotte race is going to be a lot different there, Ronald.
Yes, I will agree with you on that, Scott. The cars handle differently there. There's not as much braking. This track seems to be giving a lot of people problems with braking. It's the first time that I know of. I have not been in KMA for a long time, but this is the first time that I have visited New Hampshire with KMA, as I'm sure it probably is with a lot of the other drivers. So as unfortunate as it is with the amount of cautions that we've had and the things that we've had to deal with so far this week, it's kind of like going to Darlington the first time we went to Darlington. It was a lot of fun, a little too many cautions. Second time we went to Darlington, a lot of fun, less cautions. So, next time we visit New Hampshire, maybe the guys will have a little more practice under their belts and do a little better job, including myself.
I got real curious up here in the booth, folks, and had to go find a picture of Milo the Moose. So I tell you what, Ronald, you aren't familiar with Milo, you got to go check out Milo the Moose. That one there kind of blew me away. But I'll tell you what, if you want to get up here on Friday, I am having a hard time stumping the fans out here tonight. Last night, Becky Whitmer, Miss Ryerson did a great job. Kelly Ryerson did a great job. We had Mama Patty and Christian out there. Scott Sanderson again getting a little loose. Truck might be taking a whipping, but maybe on Friday, if you want to join me up here, we can try real hard to stump them on Friday.
That would certainly be fun, Scott. I actually tuned up to the leaders. Travis Browder is closing in ever so slightly on that number 13 truck. I don't know. That or the gap just is not changing. I'm actually not watching the gap. I am now. I just checked it. It's 0.268. So, yeah, you can see it in live time. Unfortunately, I can't.
Right now he is at 3.333, and it's going to be, well, assuming that we go green flag, Blake Heather or Travis Browder, Jack Watts at 3.4 back, Scott Sanderson at 4.1, Brad Reed at 5.3 seconds back. But again, the 13 heading off. I'm looking at it up there from Blimp, and 1 minute they're up there on that wall, the next minute they're not quite down on the yellow, but they're freaking me out when they head up there to that wall, trying to suck as much draft off of that wall as they possibly can.
Yeah, and it's actually all about using, as much of the racetrack as you can, because when you're coming off coming off that corner, you're trying to carry as much speed as you can, and the tires are pushing to their limits, and you're sliding sideways, and that these two guys in the front are doing that every single lap, and it's so hard, and every one of these drivers is doing that, to be completely honest with you. But these guys up front are doing it like it's easy. The rest of us, it was much more difficult to drive the car that hard, and you could and it showed tonight, Scott, with however many cautions. I'm sorry, I don't have that
nine cautions so far.
So 9 cautions. We had 9 different guys, just push it too hard.
Rolling up through our field, Gary Whitmer in 8th, Ronald Hartfield in 7th, Greg McClendon in 6th, Jack Watts in 5th. Now Jack Watts is 7.6 back. Brad Ream 7.1 back. Scott Sanderson in 3rd at 5 back. So this is really between Blake and Travis. Now
There is going to be a lap car here.
Coming up on lap traffic.
We'll see if the Joel guy will probably not be a factor. He'll probably get out of the way. And luckily for Blake, it's gonna be perfect for him and Travis as well. I thought that Travis might end up catching him at the wrong part of the track, but it worked out for him. And it seems like Blake is too strong for Travis. Travis just can't close that distance, and maybe he used his stuff up. Yep, I think
0.7.
he might have used his stuff up.
And that's easy to do, because it's like the fox and the rabbit. Right now the number 13 is the rabbit, and Travis Browder is the fox, and the rabbit's going to run faster because the fox, he's just running for his dinner. The rabbit is running for his life, and right now on that last corner, Travis Browder fell from 0.5 back to 1.5 back, so either Travis has submitted or Blake Heather had just a little bit left.
I think, like I said, Travis has used his stuff up. He pushed it as hard as he could, and he's just going to come up a little bit short, as probably the best battle on the track is going to end up being, I was just going through, and it looks like Jack Watts has the inside lane against number 61 of Brad Ream. Brad Ream getting a great run off the corner here.
A little tap to the wall.
Oh, he tags the wall. Drag race down the front stretch, and off into turn 1 and 2, and Jack will probably try to get a run off the corner here on Brad. Nope, doesn't look like it's going to happen. Looks like Blake is going to be your winner, followed by Travis Browder, Scott Sanderson, and this final battle. Oh, as Jack Watts gets into the back of the 61 saves it. The 61 saves it. How in the world did he save that? Wow.
Nice job out there, too, Brad Ream. But we got to get back up with our leader. And indeed, it will be Blake Heather ahead of Travis Bry by 1.969. So, it's not very often a driver will actually go 100 laps led tonight, but Blake indeed did do it.
Yep, that's the second time here in recent history that's happened.
Very impressive job done out here by Blake Heather. But we're going to talk to Scott Sanderson first. How about it, Scott? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yep, I got you.
All righty, good job getting that podium in position 3. Talk to me about your evening.
Well, like I said, just 10 laps ago, 20 laps ago, first half of the race was garbage. Got caught up in everyone else's mess. Had people crying and complaining in my ear, and it's just, same old thing that happens everywhere. Somebody doesn't think they were at fault, and someone says they're at fault. You know how it goes.
Absolutely.
But I mean, car was good on the long run. It would go through phases. It was fast. I was able to hang with Blake and Travis there for about 5 laps or less, and then it would just get crazy loose, undrivably loose, and I got into, I think it was turn 3, way too hot and lost it all and fell back to 5th and had to let the tires cool down. I'm surprised I got back around Brad and Jack as quick as I did. There was no way in you know what that I was going to catch Travis and Blake. They were just on a rail today, so hats off to them.
And hats off to you, sir. You got involved in an early caution, did a great job showing your honor for the military with the POW MIA Folds of Honor. We thank you for all of that, sir.
Yeah, I'm not the one to be thanking. That's the veterans and officers and firefighters and all of them. It's not just who's on this truck. It's everyone that makes us who we are as the U.S. and allows us to do what we do, whether it's here on iRacing or just going to work every day. They let us do what we do.
Absolutely wise words. All righty, thank you for your time, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to get Travis in, and then I'm going to let you get our race winner, Blake, in. How about it, Travis?
Hey, Scott. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good, sir. You did pretty good last night, too, didn't you?
Absolutely. I got P2 and P2 again tonight.
All right, talk to us about your P2 tonight.
It was good. I couldn't get to Blake on the longer runs. Like, I was good at the beginning of the runs there. It's just because I was in the dirty air because it was tight. But I was a little loose on exit. But I didn't want to risk it at the end. I gave everything I had, and once the tires were gone, I was like, I just want to hold on to second place and try to hold on to the points.
All right, so that would have been about the point in time you were at 300ths back. You went down to 500ths back. Then you went back to 1.5 back. Talk to us about that time frame. That was like lap 96 to 98.
Yeah, it was. I tried to get some air and try to let rotate the truck through the center, and then that's when I got loose out of 2 there. I tried to hold on to the truck and I saved it, and then it just went on from there. And it was. I liked the truck tonight. It was pretty good.
All right, how you feeling about moving on into Charlotte?
Charlotte, that'll be a fun race for sure. Hopefully we'll see some green flag runs at Charlotte. That'll be fun for sure.
All righty, good job, Travis Browder. All right, Ronald, I'm going to hand Blake to you.
Copy that. And Blake Heather, got a copy?
How's it going there, Ronald? I sure do.
Great job tonight, leading all, if not all, most of the laps tonight. Made it look easy out there, man. I was in the back of the field just trying to stay clean. Didn't work out for me. Ended up jumping up in the booth to help Scott out. And man, watching from the booth, you just make it look easy. Talk to me about your race tonight.
Oh, this truck, I had a miss in it in the beginning of practice, and there towards the end, I found something magical, and it's like somebody put 2 rails out there, and I was a freaking train. It was quick.
So noticed on that last restart, because I was also in the race, I did not disconnect the radio from the race. I heard you miss a shift, and great job of communicating that, because normally, especially on a track like this, that would have created a big old pile up and wrecked out a bunch of the cars. Talk to me about that. And were you in fear you were gonna lose the lead there?
I thought I was a goner. I hit third, and then when I went to drop it to fourth, somehow I managed to get it into what would be sixth gear, and by that time I had oh crap, I can't think of his name.
Travis or Scott?
Scott. I had Scott behind me, and I rushed as fast as I could to hit the mic button and put it into fourth. But man, it made my heart jump a little bit there. I thought I was gonna either get wrecked unintentionally, but I thought bad things were gonna happen there. But I'm glad we came out clean and everybody skated through that.
I'm taking a walk around your Toyota Tundra here. Looks like you're got the Square D sponsorship on there. Talk to me about the paint job.
Oh, it was a one-time deal. Next week we won't have any sponsorship, so anybody want to sponsor a truck out here, let me know.
Copy that. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, your winner here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Just everybody that runs this league, and all the patience that everybody's got, and all the veterans out there, and just everybody that partakes and does a wonderful job here at KMA.
Well, and of course that little baby I hear there in the background, that's your biggest fan, brother.
Oh yeah, she's the biggest fan. Sometimes if I'm not careful, she'll slide my gear into third when I'm in fourth, so.
Nice. Sir, if you don't mind, might I ask your age?
24, will be 25 in October.
Alrighty, well there you go, another young driver like Travis. Tell you what, the young boys getting it done tonight at New Hampshire. Good job, Blake Heather.
Thanks, Scott and Ronald.
All right, Ronald, so wrap us up for the night here.
Unfortunately, the theme of the night, theme of the week so far, a lot of cautions. I'm going to cross my fingers in hopes that when we do get back here on Friday, that the guys will have figured it out and be amazing, just absolutely amazing if we can run the Cup cars with less cautions than we did with the trucks and the Xfinity cars because of how much horsepower they have. And that actually could work out, Scott, because some people are kind of afraid of all that horsepower in the Cup cars, so maybe they will be a little more gentle with it. We'll just have to see. But I thought, obviously a little too many cautions, but I thought we saw some really great racing, some great side-by-side racing. We saw some comers and goers. Really thoroughly enjoyed watching Scott Sanderson come up through the field. Would have been interesting to see, had he not been involved a little bit earlier, if he would have had anything for those guys. Had he been able to be up there a little sooner, or if it would have stayed green. And really proud of Brad Ring bringing it home in fourth place. Got to give a shout out to him because he's my RTK Motorsports teammate, but really proud of him. He was not good in practice and brought home in fourth place, so pretty impressed.
All right, not a bad night out here. Looking forward to Friday night, but as you say, it's either going to tame them down or it's going to amp them up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Scott Kolovic, and this is Ronald Klein joining me up in the booth, and we'll catch you out here. What are we doing tomorrow night, Ronald?
Yeah, I was just going to say, before you cut out, let's talk about tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we are going to be doing our Wicked Wednesday series. It's the first race of a brand new series, and we're going to be racing the SK Modifieds at Concord Speedway. Should be an entertaining night. So if you're not doing anything tomorrow night, make sure you pop open the KMA TV, because we will be broadcasting tomorrow night at Concord Speedway, the Modifieds.
Alrighty, sounds good. I told you folks it would be something different. All right, we're going to cut on out of here, and we'll catch you on tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. Back on Thursday, back on Friday, and back on Saturday. Thank you for the help, Ronald.
Yep, no problem, Scott. Thanks, fans.